So what kind of feedback has come back to you over the course of the last few months that surprised you or shocked you in terms of the communications that you've had about this movie?
Well, I always feel like my job, the job I do, acting in something, is inconsistent with the response. Like the things I felt really great about, no one sees, and if they do see, maybe I get a bad notice or something. And then this movie I felt good about, but I watched and was, as I mentioned early in this discussion, felt 90% disappointed by it. And I don't mean to criticize the movie. It's a wonderful movie, right? All the other elements I feel great about. But I've had a lot of nice responses in the last few weeks and months, and I attribute that to the character. I don't think I did anything different. I was really excited to do this role, and I felt like I had a great idea for it and knew how to do it, but I don't feel like it's any different than, in terms of my job, than in other movies or other scenes or other plays that I've done that I felt equally good or better about, that no one sees, or if they do see, don't like. So, as an actor, you're kind of a cog in a wheel, and you're a cog in a machine, and you hope that the machine is great so that the cog looks nicer.
But David Fincher, this man has a reputation for being one of the best directors in Hollywood.
Right.
What did he do to help you to bring that performance to the fore?
David is a remarkable person. He is the most interested. I've never seen somebody who is more interested in what they're doing than him.
How does that manifest?
So, the conversations you would have with David Fincher on set would be always about the movie. Over lunch, he would play you a song on his iPod that he's thinking for this particular scene, and then he goes through 30 different songs before he finds the one that is appropriate for that scene. So, he's not just showing off what he found. He's constantly contemplating. He is as interested in the visuals and the lighting and the music as he is in what the actors are doing. You'll do 50 takes of a shot, and he'll have 49 different notes. After take 25, he'll say, delete the first 25, let's start again. Because we're shooting on video. Delete the first 25, let's start again, and let's go in a whole different direction. My character has an occasionally odd disposition, so we would do, let's say, 25 takes where the character's emotionally withdrawn, detached, socially not adept. Then we would do the other 25 takes, for example, much more personable, much more reactive. It was just a wonderful experience. It was like, being in an acting class where you have the opportunity to experiment with no stakes. It was not the kind of movie where you get 2 or 3 takes and you hope to get it right and you hope it's the thing that you kind of rehearsed for and thought about. It was an incredible experience. It's how I think movies should be made. There's a huge set built. There's actors flying in from all over the world and stuff, and you want more than 3 shots at it. You want to do 50 shots at it because, why not? It was an incredible experience. As meticulous as his visual imagery is, his performances that he asks for are as meticulous as his sound design is, the set design is, the scuffs on the floor of the sets that one scene takes place in for half a page are accurate and detailed, and the pictures on the wall that are out of focus and unseen, as well as the ice cream in the background where the extras are eating in the restaurant, everything is accounted for by him.
Now, you yourself are obviously articulate and able to express yourself, but and more socially adept than your character. But you're going to be asked to be on the social circuit here. That there's a campaign. There's a possibility of something happening in the awards race here, and you're going to be asked to do a lot of what we call the sort of dog and pony show. How do you feel about that?
Sometimes I really like doing this publicity, and sometimes I really don't. If I meet somebody, somebody like you who has nice things to say and an interesting discussion, that's really enjoyable because, it's better than the conversation I'd have with my buddy back in New York, right? So that's interesting. when I feel I get a little embarrassed sometimes when it feels like I am trying to do something that I don't. Well, when that's self-serving, it's
Yeah.
embarrassing. But how often is it that you get to be involved with something this wonderful, and then not only that it's this wonderful, but that it has some kind of like cultural impact, and I'm so honored, humbled as well, and I have to remind myself of that, and that's really nice. And I'm sure I will go back to being a hermit when it's all over, and will be just as comfortable.
But you want to finish up your credits in January.
Finish it, right?
Yeah, you're going to have to put that off, eh?
School? Well, yes. So I go to a school that has a lot of online courses, and they're very accommodating to my very strange schedule. And I hope to graduate at some point, but I could do that at any point.
So what kind of other jobs do you have lined up? Anything in the can? Anything to come?
Well, I write plays, so I'm doing some plays next year that I wrote, and I'd like to do that. And I think the next movie I'll do is a very tiny $2 million movie. Okay, $2 million sounds like so much money when you say it that way. Like $2 million, but in movie terms, obviously that's like it's a pittance.
An indie.
Yeah, and that's what I like to do. I like to do character.
Do you know the name of that one?
Well, I hesitate to say only because nothing's official. But this is all to say that I'm not eager to, capitalize in some really weird and trying way on this movie. I'm so happy to do the things that I've felt comfortable doing prior to this.
So you're a bit selective?
Yeah, I mean everybody's selective. Sometimes you don't have the option to select the things that are really wonderful, and so you're selective in a kind of a different category. But yeah, of course.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. Appreciate it.